Yo crew, looking at Camp Shelby 2021 Mississippi Gravel Cup. Course profile, obviously down below here, so you can get a good feel for kind of the elevation profile. So 2,119 feet is what Ride with GPS is claiming. Less, for those that did Oxford, less than what Oxford was. Faster course. Start of this one, some of you may have seen some videos on this, but within the first couple miles up to like the 1.8 mile mark, there is some kind of rutted out Jeep style mud bogging trail. So center has some thicker, higher, more elevated dirt slash gravel. The edges seem to have, that's where most of the kind of deeper ruts are. For most of it, you have plenty of good lines to take if you're kind of riding in where a tire track would be if you were driving down the middle of the road. So there should be clean lines until that 1.8 mile mark. On that, there's going to need to be a dismount, most likely, according to our intel, Mr. Pooley. Likely a dismount, if not right side of the road on the very far edge, may be rideable. So make sure you're on the right side of the road for that section. This will also be how you come back in. As you can see here, fast, it's uphill going out, but it's going to be a fast downhill, possibly a spun out style downhill going back. So, make or break could be that mud bog section at 1.8 to go. So that'd be over here, obviously. So make sure you're in a good spot as you near the end of this. And most importantly, put in some energy early. Make sure you're warmed up. Put in some energy early to make sure you're at the front and able to pick good lines. The further back you are, the less you can see, the more likely it is that people are starting to spread all over the road. Someone who hasn't previewed the course may do something dumb and try to jump from one side to the other. Someone may get off in one of the ruts on either side. So a lot of stuff can happen the further back you are. You just essentially multiply your risk the further back you go. And if a split happens and the course is fast after that, you could be left out, or at least left chasing for a super long time, which burns a bunch of matches. So both of those aren't good. If we look at features, you can see here deep ruts could be muddy, large enough to eat your bike, not good. Here, aid station, so that is 44 mile mark. Obviously, if you're doing the 50 miler, you are not going to need a feed or an aid. So, or hopefully you don't need an aid. So take your bottles and your food to make sure you get through the whole thing without the need to stop there. For the 100 milers, which actually is more like 92, you'll see the note here. You actually end up taking a left to go back out. You don't go all the way. Like in Oxford, you went all the way and did a full loop and then went out for your second. So you may need something at that aid station, depending on what you can take with you. I know a lot of our folks stopped, snagged bottles, snagged some food before they went out for lap 2 at Oxford. That's not going to be the case on this one. So make sure you are planning accordingly there. Make sure you look at the weather. I haven't checked the weather yet, but make sure you check and see what the heat's going to be doing. I heard rumors earlier in the week that it may be like upper 60s. Again, I have not clarified that or checked. So if we look at kind of the course, there's the way I look at it. There's some features that jump out right away. So this one jumps out. This little hill jumps out right after that. So followed by a downhill to an uphill. Generally, when you have a downhill right after the uphill, that gives you time to chase back on if you did get tailed off. So, but it's short. So if you pace yourself a little more at this, what mile mark is that? 16.2. If you pace yourself a little bit more, but according to Pooley, none of these are like significant climbs. If you look at the percent grade, it doesn't look that bad. Again, maybe a few percent more, but even 2%, I mean, that's nothing. Here we got 3, 4, so even if that's 6% or 5%, that's not a super killer climb. So nothing should be. This looks like it might be the steepest here, um, but nothing appears to be overly crazy. So it should be fast. It should be rolling. A chance to be aggressive late if you're feeling good. So kind of feel out what's going on, and you're going to be best served in this last 2 mile run in to be solo, small group. It's going to be tough to chase or to have an organized chase when it's more like it's double track, but like if you're not able to actually rotate through, if you're kind of stuck to a line and it's tough to rotate through, advantage goes to a person that's off the front solo. So something to think about there. If you're feeling good, don't be afraid to attack a couple miles to the finish, especially with the spun out downhill sprint. I guess that's the major stuff I got. Nothing super major to talk about besides that initial mud bog section, making sure you're in good position. I mean, that would be for me going into this. It would be I want to be top three wheels. Ideally, I would even want to be first wheel because then you control the pace and you can control. You're in control of your own destiny if you're on the front. Whereas if you're back behind, there's a lot of extra elements at play. I hope this helps. Good luck to all of you racing grip and rip early in the season. Don't be afraid to try stuff. Don't be afraid to test the fitness. Make this into not only a solid race, but also a solid day of training. And that'll help carry you into the rest of the season. All right, that's all I got. Peace.